Welcome to the Get Your Act Together podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Reynolds, and today is our first episode of 2023. I'm a lot less cranky than I was in our last episode. If you listened to episode 108, which was the last of 2022, you will know that I was not exactly in the best place. I sounded whiny and cranky because last year was rough. And I was going to re-record that episode and I decided not to. I really wanted to be honest with you and be like, this is hard. Business is hard. And I'm going to show you that I'm cranky. So, thanks for sticking with me through that episode if you've listened. And this is going to be a better year. There's this old meme that I love and it says, someone's worrying about the year. They're like, what do you think is going to happen in the next year? And the person says, I think I'm going to get flowers. And the other person says, well, why do you think that? And they say, because I'm planting flowers. And that is what I'm doing this year. I am planting flowers, figuratively here and, in real life, because I garden like crazy. But this year is so unknown. We have no idea what's going to happen. So many things are up in the air. And I am so here for it. I'm so excited and ready for the opportunity. I have taken a couple days to chill out, not exactly relax because I don't sit still well, but I have gardened and I've puttered and I've made bread and I've done things like that. So I'm really ready for 2023 and I'm super excited about what we're going to do. So systems. Segue. I love to talk systems. I talk a ton about systems and I totally nerd out. I have a database for my gardening. Like, I don't just talk systems because I like it as a business. Like, this is what I think about all the time. The best ways to make things more efficient. And I literally just put a whole database together for my garden. So you could see there's pictures involved and locations and it's awesome. And I'm super excited about it. Because I love systems. I love making things run better, whatever they are, even just my life, like my regular old everyday life. We talk a lot about systems and there's a reason for that. Like they are required for a business to run well. They just are. Otherwise, it's chaos. And I talk a lot about this because I have been in businesses for a long time. I was on Wall Street making SOPs before I even knew what an SOP was. I've been in this business world for so long, and I know that having systems means a business runs well. That business will produce consistent work, and it does not depend on any one person when there are systems in place. And that makes the business sustainable. And most times I would tell you about the transformation from chaos to well-run, right? A client came to me, they were a mess. We did these things. Now their business is doing great. And that's what I do a lot, right? I give you examples of how things work, but we help create operating systems so people can get out of the day-to-day and they can see their family more and all of those things. I give you those examples. But today's story is the opposite, actually. Today, we are going to talk about things going from they were running really well to they were sent into complete and utter chaos because the system stopped working. Well, to be fair, the system was working. The system got broken. In fact, this is not a story about a crazy client going off the rails, but a tech problem. This is a tech problem that broke my systems and everything, became a mess. So over the years, I have created a system that becomes the kind of operations system, the operations hub for all the things to run the business. It's centrally located. Everyone can find the links to the things, the SOPs, the tracking sheets, the whatever, all the things that someone would need are all in one place. It is easy to train someone because there is a hub and all the information is there. Okay. So everything's mapped out. And I have developed this over the years of being in client businesses and seeing how hard it was to hand over parts of the processes, the parts of the everyday business to someone else for whatever reason, either because someone was sick or someone left, or you just want the leader of the business wants to get things off their plate and they need to delegate to maybe a VA or an OBM, all of that. And I wanted to make that transition for whatever reason, the work was going to be moved to a different person. I wanted to make that transition easier. So let's say you are going to run payroll and someone gets sick, someone gets COVID, they're out for 2 weeks and someone still has to run payroll, right? That new person can come in, whoever that person is, can come in and go to the payroll section of this system and everything they need is there. The tracking sheets, the information, all of the stuff is there. And they can get it done without bothering someone who has COVID and is sick of bed. So imagine that this is all set up. I mean, it's a pretty cool system if I say so myself. You can look there, you can find anything you need, and everyone knows where it is. It's the other big thing, right? Everyone can go to this place and know that the information will be there in this dashboard, and they can find what they need to get the job done, even if they're covering for someone. There are not a million questions. There are not people calling the hospital when someone is sick. They can go there and get the job done. And then, I feel like this is Sophia Petrillo. If you watch The Golden Girls, I was like, picture it, 1912. Picture it. This system is running beautifully. It is the place where everyone goes. They check there first for information. They only come to me, the leader, for specific questions that, are specific to that case. Things are well. And then there is a Google migration from one domain to another for rebranding. And the whole thing breaks. And I don't mean just a little. I mean, the whole thing breaks. None of the links work anymore. So if you follow me for a little while, you will know that if I make an SOP, there are links to everything. So you can take that SOP or that tracking sheet or whatever it is and go to the place and find the thing and link to everything. And then this whole operating hub, this system dashboard, everything is linked. So you can go there and click on a thing and find the video and how to do it and all that. None of the links worked. No one had access to any of the correct files because what had happened was the default when the migration came over, okay, if you don't know what a Google migration is, maybe I should start there. So if you want to move from, let's say, kellysherman.com to kellyreynolds.com, let's say you're rebranding because you got married, and you have to move everything in one domain, one email system, one website to the other. And Google will do that. There's third-party people that will do that wherever you do it. It's not the easiest process. And when you do it, it doesn't go over exactly where you thought it would. So we move everything over, and now all the links are broken to everything. The comments on any of the sheets, not there, gone. Entire folders were empty and things were taken out of the folders and just thrown in my drive, like that big, vast pile of stuff. Really important, sensitive things too. So, nothing confidential or anything like that, but things you want to be able to find were no longer in the files they were supposed to be in. And it was a mess. It was a mess. There were entire things that 10 people used to have access to them, and now one person had access to them, and that was it. So you can imagine how this wonderful system was running and running and running, and now there's just a ton of empty files and a big mess. So why am I telling you about this? Because it proves that it worked. Because once you broke it, you realized how well it works and how much we relied on it. We didn't worry about where things were. We had links to everything easily gotten. But then all of a sudden, nothing worked. And it's kind of like Look, most things in operations, no one notices what they're doing or how they're working until they break. It's like the trains. No one really notices that all the trains are on time every day until the trains aren't on time every day, and then everyone is late for work. Then they notice there's a problem. So there's not operations is very much no one really gets a good job today. It's, oh, it's broken today. There's only one way. There's not an upside, and there's no congratulations when you work every day. It's just expected, and then it breaks. And I'm telling you all this because sometimes I think the only way to show something in operations, to show it worked, is to break it and then realize how good it was before. I mean, we had gotten so used to being able to grab info easily, being able to go find a link easily. Like when you have to fill out forms for something, being able to pull any information you needed easily. It's always like, what's your Facebook page? What's this page? What's that page? And having all of those links in one place seems like a silly thing, but it saves an enormous amount of time having to go log into Facebook, pull the thing, log in here, pull the thing. And then all of the SOPs, trying to figure out where everything was and how it works, used to be super easy. And it wasn't anymore. So all of a sudden, you want to delegate work, and there's nowhere to tell people to go. Okay, you're going to go take on this role. Someone's sick today, and you need to handle it. And you send this person in, and there's no information there. You don't know where anything is. So I had to basically old school corporate sit at my desk next to me, train people because they couldn't get any information. They couldn't find the links, the SOPs, the trainings. They couldn't find any of the information on how to run the business. And it took us, an enormous amount of time to just tell people how to do things, to train people, to actually hands-on, one by one. This is where the thing is. Let me send you the link to this. Let me send you the link to this. That's awful. And then once you realize that something's so broken and how much you miss it, like if you get a new phone these days, you don't have to reconfigure everything because all the information just comes over. But imagine if all of a sudden your iPhone or whatever, just all the apps are gone and none of them really work, and you have to log into everything all over again. It's a nightmare. You don't know what you don't remember anymore which apps you had. They were just there. You don't remember what the password is for this. You got to go look it up, and it takes hours to get anything done. Super inefficient. So we spent an enormous amount of time putting things back together, because the thing is, when you break something and you don't miss it, maybe you didn't need it. But when you break something and everything stops, you are no longer efficient anymore. You no longer can just walk out of the office and know that your team can take care of it. Your team has no access to anything anymore. Everything stops. So we took a lot of time. We got all the information back where it's supposed to be. Links updated, which is a lot. It's a lot to be like, what's the link to this? Where do I find that? And then making sure everyone had the right access again, because that had been taken out. So it was an enormous validation that our systems had worked. And it's kind of a weird way for me to say, look, it broke. Let me tell you about it, right? But what I want to say is the only reason we knew it worked was because when it was broken, we realized how much we missed it and how much we really needed it, and that it was worth it to get it back together. And also, try to avoid migrating anything on Google if you can. It's just, it always gets messy because it's a lot of information to go in a lot of places, and everyone does their best. But, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. Months of work. And this kind of validation, in a way, I'm trying to look on the bright side. It's 2023. We're looking on the bright side of things. We're seeing the opportunities, not the defeats this year. And I felt like this process of breaking it and validating our systems was this enormous opportunity. to realize it's really good. We really have honed this system over the years. We use it on all our clients. I use it in my own business. Everyone knows where to go for information. And it was becoming the standalone offer last year. And I've talked a little bit about this in the pilot program that we were doing at the end of the year. And this has become this standalone offer because it works, because we've tested it, because we have, use it on clients. And because now that it broke and it proved that it works and it was great. And yeah, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to find out that the thing you wanted to really coalesce around, I don't know if that's the right word, but like to really offer, because I know it can help a lot of people, and it got validated all at the same time. So it's a lot of work, but I'm super proud of it. So if you are interested in this offer, this operating system, the Get Your Act Together operating system, we are doing this as a standalone offer instead. We used to do this only retain our clients, ongoing clients. We would go in, we would look at systems and map out systems and create this custom dashboard and create trainings and SOPs and all of this kind of stuff. And that was only available in our operations management. It was the highest level that the service we offered. And I pulled this out because I think it's so important to even smaller businesses that can be helped by this, is to offer this as a 4 to 6 week package where we come in, we help you map out your systems, your processes, and then build this dashboard to create it. So it gives you the foundations for it, so that you can run your business well. And I am super excited about it. I think I've said that about 12 times already, but I love it. I'm so excited about doing this. I think it's one of the most beneficial ROI driven things that we do, is getting people organized so they are streamlined and efficient so they can make more money. So if this is something that you're interested in, go to reynoldsovm.com and you can learn more there, or you can set up a discovery call with us. And I would love to chat with you about it because I love talking systems. And Happy New Year, everyone. I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much for joining me this week. If you have an agency or want to create one, come join my Facebook community, Get Your Agency Together, where we talk all the things growing and scaling your agency. For show notes and more info on all the things, head over to reynoldsovm.com. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at reynoldsovm. And finally, if you enjoy this podcast, I would love for you to give us a review on iTunes.